Unlock your full potential with Brain and Focus, a powerful supplement designed to boost mental clarity, enhance memory, and sharpen concentration. Made from a blend of scientifically proven ingredients like ginkgo biloba, omega-3, and essential vitamins, Brain and Focus is crafted to fuel your mind. Our process ensures maximum potency and effectiveness, delivering the perfect balance of brain-boosting nutrients. Take just one capsule daily, as prescribed by your healthcare provider, and feel the difference. Whether it's powering through your workday or staying sharp in life's challenges, Brain and Focus keeps you at the top of your game. Stay sharp, stay focused, and stay ahead with Brain and Focus. Brain and Focus, fuel your mind, achieve more. Go get this product at blackhotfirenetwork.com at the Sports and Nutrition Store.
It's got to be South African. I don't know why Joey want to give us this South African video over and over. I know. I know. Tell me, Joey, it's South African. It's from South Africa, right?
Yes.
I knew it. Oh, what is that? Oh, this Serafina. Hey, this is the wrong song for the wrong country.
Freedom is coming. Kids, receive it. Stop hating on the people trying to get freedom. Freedom, please.
Tell me, that movie was like 30 years ago. They still got freedom. I'm not hating on nothing. I'm saying these group of Negroes now love their oppressor. So can't tell me about no freedom. Can't tell me about freedom, and they always be somebody's comments going against other Africans, bigging up their oppressor. You know, so what kind of it's contradictory. I'm just saying, okay, I get you, but a lot of South Africans are contradictory.
We still love them. I mean, they're getting freedom.
Of course, they're family.
The white Afrikaners are living, so come on, that's freedom.
Not enough. That's just a few coming here with their bull crap. You know?
Mm-hmm. we'll be getting into that. We'll be talking about that. I see so many reactions from people on TikTok about that. They're saying, you should be ready for this. The system is not what we think, like what we have in South Africa. It's a system of rape. It's crazy. So we'll be sharing videos on that from TikTok as we talk about literally how 8,000 of them are migrating from there. And where specifically are they going to? Are they going to be distributed in, all?
They can be distributed, all over the place. Because I think they flew through Dallas, but I know they're not going to be in the Dallas area. Remember that's where Camilla Anthony killed that white boy in Dallas. So they're not going to be staying there because they're going to get that work. But so I think they're going to distribute over to the widest part of the country. You got certain states with very few Negroes in it. Like I said, like you got a Utah, a Montana, a Idaho, a Iowa, where you got like 2 Negroes in the whole state. So it's better for them to go over there. Don't send them down like to the southeast. Don't keep like in Texas, Alabama, Mississippi, Florida, Georgia, South Carolina, North Carolina, or up to the Midwest, up to like Chicago, Milwaukee, Minnesota, Twin Cities, or out to the Northeast to New York, Philadelphia, Newark, Boston. It ain't gonna work well for them on them areas. Just stay in the the upper Midwest, like Idaho or Northwest, Idaho, Washington State, Oregon. Long as they're down the coast, because you got a lot of black people, I think, now in Portland, but stay up in them states, stay up in states like Wyoming, where that black girl was screaming, "Oh, I got my white man!" Look at when they passed the black guy on the road trying to do his car. No, don't let him. He's black, because like she said, there ain't no black people in this state. That's right, him. So go to them states, Wyoming, Joby. Where you go? Wyoming, Montana. Idaho, Utah, Iowa, those kind of states. You'll be all right.
Okay. All right. That's what's up. But karibuni sana family. Hope you guys are doing amazing. Good evening. From my end, it is exactly 43 minutes past the top of the hour. Good afternoon from you guys. And hope the weather there is nice and fair. It's literally raining right now on my end as we talk. And of course, it's very expected till, of course, the end of this particular month. It's a raining season and a planting season. I don't know about you guys, but I hope you are doing amazing. Hope you had a beautiful weekend as well. For those who are not able to catch up with me earlier on Rumble BitChute, and to those who are with me also on YouTube and on the radio station. As we get started for today's conversation, we'll be sharing a little bit of history of the Creole people. I don't know if I'm pronouncing it correctly. The Creole people.
Creole people. Called Creole. Yeah, Creole. Yeah, you got the French. You got to do it spelled, but you spelled the way you're saying it, but it's pronounced, since it's French, yeah, it's pronounced Creole. So you got the Creole in Louisiana. That's be around where Nish grew up at, and the Creole over in over like on like Haiti. Parts of all where you had the French at, it's called the Creole. That's called the French language mixed with indigenous, so it's called Creole.
Yeah, so we'll be sharing a little bit of that history as we get to understand the original Americans. This is before even America exists. Of course, we're talking about the group of black people who existed in these, all areas before the Europeans advanced into particular regions. Yeah, and then we should also be talking about, should we call Netanyahu a puppet, Keith? Should we describe Netanyahu?
Netanyahu is a puppet of his masters. They want to make us believe that Trump and now Netanyahu are fighting, because they know that the white people, Joe, but now waking up to say, hold on, we're puppets of Israel, not just the Rob. We don't create Israel, Joe, the Rothschild family. So yeah, Netanyahu's a puppet of the Rothschilds own Israel. They created it. So that's the ones that have been sucking. Those ones been sucking the money out of America.
Yeah. I wanted to make that clear before I make any statement. So, of course, we'll be talking about Netanyahu, of course, the puppet, and Trump, who are, of course, they're working together. But like you're saying, they're acting like they're fighting and all that.
They're fighting, and now they're withdrawing. If that's the case, then all of Congress should denounce Israel. Then you ain't heard nobody in Congress denounce no Israel, Joby, because they're all bought and paid for by Israel. and Israel runs this country. Well, the Rothschilds run this country through what? Their banking scam. They own the
Exactly.
bank here, so they print the American dollar. You
Mm-hmm.
know, anybody? No Americans print the American dollar, Joe.
Exactly. Along that, we'll be talking about Iran, which has said it will not back down from the nuclear rights, and this is the foreign minister confirming this.
Yeah, and they shouldn't. Who are white people? The ones that have been the white people use that. They come in your country and kill you and overthrow you. They tell you can't have one. If I'm defending myself, I gotta have one because you always invade people and overthrow people's countries and put your puppets in. So who are you to tell me I can't have what you had? See
Mhm.
that just sounds crazy. I'm supposed to consistently let you run the world, huh?
They're
Sound crazy.
trying to make Iran another African country, signing treaties and all that. I'm trying to find a
But
video.
Iran ain't gonna sign it because Iran ain't stupid. When Iran, remember, because if you understand the history of Iran, Joby, the CIA overthrew their democratically elected government in 1952, right? The CIA came over because he said this oil in Iran is going to benefit my people and not you white people. We're not going to benefit Shell, Dutch Shell, and British Petroleum. It's going to benefit us, our people. And so they came and they overthrew them and put their puppet in for 20 years. Then the people rose up in the 70s, Joby, and threw out the puppet. So Iran knew they was always going to come back to see them. So Iran started making weapons. First, they tried to get Iraq in the 80s, Joby, to go against Iran to invade it. So they had Saddam Hussein. Remember, eventually they came out to Saddam Hussein and overthrew his ass too. But at that time, Saddam was still their puppet. So they used Saddam to invade Iran in the 80s. So that was a 10-year war, Joby, between Iraq and Iran for 10 years in the 80s. And so nobody won it, but it was exhausting. And so then, you're not understanding white people. Eventually, they're going to turn on you. They might be your friend for the season because you benefit them. But once you don't benefit them, they're going to turn on you and go get what you have. So when Saddam said, you know what, I want our oil for the Iraqi people too, and really for me, they said, no, you don't. No, you don't. That's our oil. It's in we don't, like Joby said, the audacity. We don't care it's in your ground. That's our oil, Joby. I don't care if that oil's in your house. Your house and oil belongs to me, Joby.
It's crazy, but we'll be getting into much more of that. But before you get started, I have this video I want to share. Remember last Friday, I did share about the Gorilla Glue lady. Remember? I shared about the Gorilla Glue lady who, tried to.
The Gorilla Glue on her head.
Yeah, was installing a wig, and then she discovered she didn't have enough go-to-be glue, and she went for the Gorilla Glue, which she had to go for a surgery. And this is just a few years later down the line. We see people are still not learning. So we have this lady here who's going viral for putting the gems, the teeth gems on the teeth using Gorilla Glue, and I'm like, this is never gonna come off, right? This is what if you wanna you want to get your life together, get employment somewhere, maybe very important. Like, how is
Joe, but if you okay, Joe, but there's no cure for being a moron. There's no cure for that.
This is crazy. So I just want to share this very quickly before we get into the serious conversation.
Baby girl.
Gorilla Glue.
Baby girl. Baby girl. Baby girl, let me see you do your dance, let me see you twirl. Shake an ass in the club with your homegirl.
Yeah, and just going through the comments. Going through the comments of this video, someone just said the first comment is, we need to learn from the Gorilla Glue girl. Like, for real, because you're gonna have to go for this one.
She said I'm a moron too. So pray for me.
Someone else says, how old are you? I know my hair don't move. Wasn't that long ago? Because that lady of the hair was saying my hair is not moving, so this is gonna be, my teeth is not moving, and then someone else saying we have nothing to learn from here. Exactly, because this is just stupidity. But this video is going viral. But again, I feel like it's a reminder to people, like, you're doing some damn shit. This is damn shit. Black people, we need to focus on really serious things. Like, what the hell is this? You
need to be reminded that you're stupid.
Like, come on, you ain't learned that Gorilla Glue is dangerous. I mean, I don't know how sticky, and I don't want to know how sticky Gorilla Glue can
It,
be. But
that's why it's called Joe. It's called Gorilla Glue for a reason. It's as strong as a gorilla.
that's what's up. But that is one of just the videos I wanted to share before we get started. So let me get into this Creole people of Virginia and North Carolina and their history. And of course, what we don't learn, of course, from the white people. Shout out to Jiba Jabba in the building. Shout out to John Mosquito. Hope you guys are doing great this wonderful
Those,
afternoon from you guys.
those
And
are the same people that taught Jibba Jabba his black jobs.
hope not mention checklists and the big dude, it's better, the black job will help you survive, but eating the
They will,
pigs,
but they got
checklist,
they getting the robots to take those black jobs now. I look at the robots, boy. The black jobs gonna be gone in a few more years, guys. I thought I was set. I made a bad investment. I'm all effed up too. I gotta reevaluate. I gotta re-strategize. I'm all messed up in the game.
we will be all right. We'll be all right. Nothing to be worried about. We'll be cool.
Before the cotton fields, before the slave codes, before America even had a name, there were men and women who lived between worlds, not quite African, not quite European.
Europeans.
They were both in neither. Their skin told only part of the story. Their language, their faith, their families told the rest. They were the Atlantic Creoles,
Sure,
and they
you sure
helped
playing
build
you
what we
sure
call
you sure
America.
you sure playing African drums if they're not Africans.
But their story has been buried, hidden by time, erased by laws, and misunderstood by both white and black
And black.
historians alike.
I don't
Today,
trust no Creoles. They
to
usually
tell
they
the
usually
truth,
bootleg. They usually
not just
bootlicks and sell out. They usually bootlicks and sell out black people. I don't trust mixed people. Most mixed people always sell out black people. Always. That's their history. So don't try to tell me their history and all that old shit. Because their history is usually the majority, not all the time, because that never 100%, but the majority of times their history is throwing black people under the bus. Okay? We know their history. That's where all your black colleges come from. All your boule handkerchief heads were always your mixed. Your mixed people. Mixed people always called damage in black society. Always trying to make you feel less than because you were African, or trying to make you feel less than because you were black. Here we got the octoroons, the quad rooms, all these different shades. So let's keep that. Let's call a buck a buck. You're gonna be counting these people to me. The majority of them always stabbed us in the back. Go ahead, Joe.
just about a people.
I didn't know the Creole people are the mulatto, the
The
mulatto.
mulattoes, yes, Joe. Those are That's just a fancy name for mulatto, Joe. Creole. Just a fancy. They don't want to be called. That's a fancy name for mulatto, Joe. That's that's what it is. That's what I told you. They're not quite Africans. They're not quite Europeans. They're Creole. That's a fancy name for bootlicking mulatto. That's all it is, Joe. Yes, Joe. It's a mulatto.
Okay.
But how blackness in America began with dignity, skill, and power, not chains.
Not change.
Hey everyone, welcome back to Papa Sears YouTube channel. Their identity was forged long before they crossed the ocean. In the 1400s and 1500s, on the coast of West Africa, European traders and African elites formed settlements at Elima Castle, Luanda, Cape Verde, and Sao Tome. African women and European men married. Their children, Luso-Africans, were multilingual, skilled in trade, diplomacy,
They didn't marry. Most of the
and
people
cultural
raped. Married.
negotiation.
Most
They
people
created
raped.
their own languages, pidgins that would later evolve into Creoles. Their skills were both hard and soft: blacksmithing, navigation, farming, translation, negotiation, and an uncanny ability to move between two worlds that often rejected them.
But coming to think about it, just as I pose a bit on this, I feel like
Go ahead, Jimmy.
I think I've grown up a little bit around some mulattoes who don't even know they're mulattoes. Like for real.
What?
Like,
What?
yeah.
That's crazy.
Like I think even Shmani is one of my witness. She was even telling a story the other day, telling us how one of our friends was really super light skinned, and the mother
Mhm.
couldn't tell her where who's the
Well,
dad. And
she knew who the dad was. She knew the dad. It's some white man that got the coochie and didn't want to be involved with the black woman, and she was embarrassed.
Okay, there's that, but there's, let's say, assuming me I'm a mulatto, and then I have such a parent who doesn't want to tell me where my father is or who my father is. So most of the people say they call it pointee. They say I'm a pointee. They call themselves pointees, not understanding where they originally come from. They don't know whether their traces come from the white people or Arabs. They have no clue. So they just consider themselves pointees. That's all they call themselves. So I've never
Okay.
had somebody say I'm a mulatto, or I've actually learned this term after high school, mulatto, and I was like, oh, this is what it means. For real.
Okay.
I'm not
I know.
joking.
Joe, we know you're not joking. We know the education system in Africa is bad on purpose. We know it. We got
Yeah,
it.
I learned the term mulatto after high school. So this one, oh, mulatto is an Afcast of okay, that's what's up. I didn't know.
They were not enslaved masses. Some were born free. Others had earned their freedom. This was not a people without identity.
They were born free. So that means they look down on other African people who were enslaved by their daddies. See? Georgians always go. So you always understand these people are always going to be a problem because they were born free while their daddies who were raping the black women were enslaving other African people. So of course they felt that they were better than mulattoes. Mulattoes think they're better than black people. And they do everything they can to be close to whiteness. Go ahead, Jim.
Brought their identity with them when they came to the Americas. The Creoles didn't arrive as helpless captives. They came as skilled professionals and cultural survivors. The first misconception is that their heritage or their cultural identity was formed in the Americas. This group of people had already forged their own identities prior to the transatlantic slave trade or even crossing the ocean. Earlier on, Portuguese colonizers specifically had intermarried with the populace of the African women. And through these intermarriages, a breed of children and offspring had been...
We know it's a lie. So we know Portuguese did not marry no bunch of black women. They were raping them. There weren't a bunch of marriages. So that's a lie. Portuguese were some of the most brutal, vicious slave traders in the world. So there wasn't no bunch of married. I think they were marrying African women. That's a lie. And that's why the Cape Verdes. That's why you got what's that? Amber Rose, who's Cape Verde. She's like, I'm not black. I'm not black. Yes, Joe, but she is one of those Creoles. Oh, yeah, she's one of those Creoles.
She said she's an African queen. She was drugged during
now she's trying to come back. No, she said she's not black. She's not African. Now she's trying to come back because it's big to be African. She said she wasn't African. Go back in the beginning. Tanya, she did say she was Christian. She's not African. She's not black. And she's not African.
She said y'all need to swallow your feelings. She's an African queen, and we all come from Africa, and everyone should know that.
That's new, Joe. But that's new. She wasn't singing that. She wasn't singing that bull crap 15 years ago when Kanye first made that goofy bald head broad famous. Said she was doing everything against being black. Okay. She went out the way to tell people she was. Everybody in the chat room, tell John. I know you guys remember. Amber Rose did everything, went out the way to tell everybody that she wasn't black. Joe, come on, ask her.
Let me put that on the side and share exactly what she said. Just a minute, what she said.
What do you say to people that didn't like that you called yourself an African queen?
Yeah. Yes.
How come?
We're all African queens.
Yeah.
We all come from Africa.
Now we're all African queens, but she's not black. I said, she's talking about evolution. We all come from Africa.
People need to get out of their feelings.
Is it? What do you say to people that didn't like that you called yourself an African queen?
She said, she comes from Homo sapiens, and all that.
She only knows that.
Yeah.
She only knows that now, Joe, because everybody knows that the Africans are human beings. She didn't. She wasn't saying none of that junk, Joby. 15 years ago, she said she's not black, not African.
I think I remember you having this conversation on one of the shows you talking about.
Yeah.
She's been doing this, I think, a couple of times, coming up with the claim she's black and trying to stick with it and all that. So
She said she wasn't black. Now she's trying to change. Now she's trying to change up. She said she wasn't black. I'm not black. I'm not African. I'm Cape Verdean. She was supposed to say she was Portuguese, Joby. She's one of these mulattoes.
She was in Kenya just a few weeks ago, and that's why she was saying all this, calling herself African Queen.
Exactly. So now she's the African Queen. Man, if you don't get out here with that garbage, go back to her history. You can find many videos of her that she says she's not African.
Okay.
Creoles in Africa, they were their own community because they were ostracized from not only the
Black people didn't trust
Africans, but also the Europeans as well. So they found their benefit being able to maneuver between the two worlds.
So listen to that. So he's saying that, okay, so the Europeans didn't trust them, right? So how the hell they marrying their mothers? Europeans, exactly right. Europeans don't trust them allows because they don't trust them coming to the community, Joby, and going back and telling all they plan their wicked plans against black people. So they're not marrying any of these.
It's kind of these
women.
Trying to think through it and understanding. We've talked about this topic a few times as well. This, I think you said, are based on the reality. The so-called Europeans or their fathers don't even like them. They don't really consider them as a group of their own,
Exactly.
So we say for them they can get the white pass. Is it called the white pass or the pass?
Yeah, but if they can, because some of them still look black, even though they are mulattoes. If they can pass that white, some can pass it white, so they just pretend to be white. Remember, just like we did the movie. They said, "Mama, don't you show up here no more. I just had to come see you, baby, and make sure you was right. Mama, don't come here no more. I don't want the people to know I'm got a nigga, mama. What are you doing?" She's a mulatto. She is what they call, Joby, a Creole. That girl right there would be a Creole. That don't come here no more, mama. Stop trying to chase her, trying to find me, mama. Stop trying to find me. Because white people are in power, so people want to live a better life. It's hard being black, Joby, so they choose not. They don't want to be black, like Amber Rose. The mulattoes don't want to be black. They don't want to be called black. They want to be get close to the whiteness as they can. If they can pass, they'll do it. If they can't, they'll sell out every black person to get favor with white people. Because white people in power.
Yeah.
That's why mulattoes are always dangerous to black communities. Unless they prove themselves to you, you couldn't really have them around you.
Mariah Carey is a mulatto? You guys, you gotta be kidding me. Mariah Carey is a mulatto?
Who's a mulatto?
Mariah Carey.
Yeah, Mariah Carey mulatto. You didn't know that?
No.
You thought she was fully black or something?
White.
No, she's a mulatto, Joe. See, she can pass. See, Joe, you thought a white woman can sing like Mariah Carey? No, that's a black. No, she's a mulatto, Joe. See, but she can pass as white like you. You wouldn't know just like that. See, that's how that works, Joe. That's how it works. Mariah Carey can pass, and you wouldn't know that she's a mulatto.
Yeah, I didn't know that. We have Stacey. I don't know who Stacey Dash is. I'll check that in a few. But yeah, I didn't know Mariah Carey was a mulatto.
But you can tell Stacey Dash a mulatto.
I've always known Mariah Carey because my mom really loved that song so much. So I was like, yeah, she's white. Anyway.
Because she sang black music.
Becoming masters of the languages, masters of negotiation, masters of disguise, even being able to appear as African when need be, and also being able to appear as European when need be, but then going back into their communities and being Creole. In 1619,
I
the
told you,
first
Joby.
20 and
That's why
odd
they couldn't be
Africans
trusted, see?
arrived in
Because they can be they can tend to be white when they want to and pretend to be black. So since you wouldn't know Mariah Carey was really would be considered black, really, because she's black, really, and Mariah Carey calls herself black. She ain't call herself mulatto. So Mariah Carey can go in and sneak into white communities and bring back information. And since you know as a person, you would call her black and accept it, and she could be spying on your ass too. So they can go they're interchangeable, like he's telling you, in the community. That's why they're not trust it. Like, I don't trust you, goddammit.
John Mosquito Dan told me that Mariah Carey is half Kenyan. That's what's up. I didn't know our very own, my brother. I'm very sorry, man. I'll be very keen next time.
Jamestown, Virginia.
Mariah Carey was white.
Perhaps most were Atlantic Creole. In the 1600s, Virginia was not yet a racialized society. Slavery existed, but it wasn't yet the totalizing race-based system it would become in the 1700s. Africans could and did gain freedom, own land, marry, retain their names. Some even owned slaves or hired white indentured servants. Men like Anthony Johnson, formerly Antonio Alnegro, became property owners. Johnson's family farmed tobacco and left sizable estates. His grandson named their land Angola, honoring their African ancestry. The Chesapeake landscape was not yet rigid. Freedom was still a possibility. Early Chesapeake, Virginia wasn't yet a racial caste system. Creoles could own land and build families. And to understand the totality of the transatlantic slave trade,
I didn't know that.
Must understand the slave in
Most of Creoles here in Africa or Kenya, personally, the ones I've seen, they are very much in poverty. That's very much in poverty. They don't own. They don't.
The
own
mulattoes.
Yeah,
The mulattoes, Joby. Okay.
Yeah, they really
That you know, but yeah, why are they in poverty? Because the white man impregnated some black woman, didn't want to be involved with her ass, and left the baby. Exactly. So ain't nobody running around. So imagine 500 years ago, they tell you, oh, they was marrying all these black women. Get out of here.
Because I've grown around like 3-4 of them, and I used to see them. They really come from really dungeons of dungeons more than where we used to stay. I'm like, this is crazy. Why y'all living fucked up? Like it's crazy.
You know why you know why? Because it was a black woman who worshipped white men, and it was easy booty, and he went and got that booty and left her ass alone.
That's what's up.
Emerged
That just happened.
from Virginia specifically.
It happens in America. Remember, Joe, we did the show. We did a show about 2 years ago, 2.5 or 3 years ago. Joe, we did a show. Remember the white guy who had AIDS in America? He was a DJ, and he said, I hate black people so bad. What I'm going to do, I'm going to impregnate all these black women, so they'll go sleep with black men and get them AIDS, have them all fucked up. So this man slept with DJ some. You guys, what's his name, guys? His name was DJ somebody. He slept with 700. What was his name, Joey? You remember his name?
Jibba Jabba says DJ Pop.
Yeah, then he get Jibba quick on his black job, just giving all the answers. So yeah, just remember, he slept with 700 black women in a year, Joby. 700. So don't tell me black women aren't attracted to white men or still messed up in the head. That's in America. They can't just say, oh, it's the African women that do it. This is America that happened. He slept with 700 black women, Joby, in 1 year.
Wow.
Infected all of them with AIDS, Joby.
It's the desperacy of our people, trust me. That's why we can easily get our women. It's the desperacy, trust me. It's the desperacy of money, the desperacy of opportunities. You see a white man as your savior. He's going to give you a couple of dollars. Your life is changing.
That's it. That's it. He gonna give you a couple of things of AIDS.
Exactly. You give them $20 and a bunch of lifetime AIDS. That's, deal with that. This is crazy, man. That is so disgusting. 800 and what in a year?
Yep. Psychopath, Jovi.
In a year, where are these women? You should all gather up and call a meeting. Like, how did you all get messed up by one man like that? This is crazy.
One man is only, I think it's only like 700. That means he sleep like almost like 2 black women a day, Jovi. He was nutting them 2 black women a day. Oh, take this nut.
That is so disgusting.
All that, and it was an AIDS bomb, Jovi. An AIDS bomb. Boom.
People think I'm capping, but I swear I disgust women who are sleeping with white men nowadays. It disgusts me, like to the core. It really disgusts me so bad, so bad.
You know it is now, Jovi. You know too much now, of course.
How do you just disrespect yourself like that? I understand, like
I know.
knowledge. I understand lack of knowledge of who we're dealing with, how our energy serves them, and all
Because
that.
because they don't know what you know, Joe. They still in America, so they still worship whiteness, Joe. So
I didn't know all this even before coming to Blackout Fire, but I've never been attracted to a white man, never gave a white man my attention, never even been looking at a white man.
there you go. You know your granny tried to get you a Jovi. You're that type. Like what?
I didn't know
Your
I was
grandma.
their type until I was told. I don't even know what their type is,
Yeah, you definitely they type.
Oh my goodness. Please get saved out there if you're dealing with this.
An industry began in Virginia. We are talking about the 1600s when the Atlantic Creoles made their first contact in Virginia. And this was during the earliest stages of the colony. Jamestown itself was a struggling colony, as were many colonies thereafter. And so this racial caste system, as it relates to slavery, wasn't created yet. It was more so a system of indentured servitude, or even a system where, due to something, if legal systems, you could have been a slave for life. The Creoles, the slaves in Virginia, were reliable. They were more so of a resource, and there weren't that many of them in the beginning. So one must have to put yourself in the mindset of the colonizers as well, that the slaves, the enslaved populace, the Creoles, they were assets, and to an extent had to be appeased. So there were certain freedoms, there were certain liberties that were allowed to this populace in the beginning. This is where the culture of the Atlantic Creole come into play. One must remember that prior to them coming into the Americas, half of their identity was Europeanized, as well the other half had been Africanized. They took that idealism with them into the Americas. So when the opportunity for them to own land became available, and we find this as a common factor amongst many of the Atlantic Creole families that come out of the Virginia and North Carolina area, that there's a common factor of land ownership, something that they hold precious, something that they hold very valuable to not only their community, but their culture as well. To be considered Creole, or what is a part of our culture, is to own land. Atlantic Creoles developed not just legal and economic power, they forged cultural power. They spoke Creole languages in Pidgin English to communicate with Africans, Europeans, and Native Americans. They were triracial, blending African, European, and Native bloodlines. Many married Native Americans or lighter-skinned Black Americans, creating family lineages that carried freedom for over 300 years, like the artist's family. But they also created a distinct aesthetic. Lighter skin and wavy hair were sometimes preferred, but not as an act of arrogance. But
please, there's a bootlick. Anybody with that hair means you got Neanderthal in you, and you're a bootlicking coon, most likely. So yeah, we know you got that kind of hair. You got that Neanderthal gene in you. That's what we do. We do know that. Anybody with that wavy hair, you got Neanderthal. You got mixed blood all up in you. So you're not a homo. So sorry, Amber Rose, you're not a Homo sapien. You are Neanderthal. That's a fact. So sorry.
That's what's up. That's what's up. But I see, let me just go through the comments very quickly as I shift from this video a little bit. I see Jiba Jabba, shout out to Emil in the building, Karibuni Sana. I see Emil was saying, I'm not able to catch the show this time. I'm on a much needed week and I'm half long leave. I've been battling depression from being overworked and driving in the wee hours of the morning.
Don't be depressed, Emil. Don't be depressed, Emil. It's the military. Just take the flow when you just get ready to get out. Don't be depressed, Emil. Just take it what it is. We can't. I've been in the military. Our times it sucks, but don't be depressed over it. Shit, I was investigated many times up in there being a radical. So don't be depressed, Emil. Just take it as it comes. In a situation that you can do about it. It's not your fault you're in it. That you can do. You're in the military, you're going to be overworked and underpaid. American military sucks. Good.
Damn, you are being investigated for what?
I've been investigated. Well, I told you. I got investigated, guys. Since Joby brought it up, don't get crazy, Joby. I got investigated, guys, since I was a womanizer, right? And so, yeah, right. You want to know? So here you go. I told you. I was a womanizer back in the day, and not proud of that, but it's just a fact. That's why I tell when men scared of women and whatnot, because I've always been able to talk to women. So, black women wear their hair short sometimes, right? Nice, like a Halle Berry cut, right? Or it was more like a what's that singer name? It wasn't Halle Berry. It was more like when Toni Braxton first called. She had her hair short, but it was straight. She had like relaxed. So I was dating this. I don't know if I was dating. That's how I was sleeping with this bra. And so sometimes they would just show up at night. At that time, in the military, since I was on the barracks, I didn't have my house out of town. You couldn't. No women could come to the barracks after 10 o'clock. And so she showed up after 10 o'clock and she wanted to give me some coochie. I couldn't say no. I'm like, what? After 10 o'clock, but okay, well, F that. I'm going to get this coochie. So, not knowing, you guys remember back in the military, sometimes the adjacent bathrooms would be joined together. It was an old barracks, so they were making some new ones, but we were some old ones since I was in the Marine Corps, because we got all the old shit, and all the good stuff for the Army and the Air Force. Marine Corps always got the old barracks, the old everything. So my door was adjacent to the next barracks door, so we got to share that bathroom. And so me being stupid, me wanting to get the coochie quick, I didn't lock my door outside of the bathroom, headed into my room. I left it open. So the next door neighbor was some drunk ass lieutenants. They all drunk and getting high. They're getting drunk and playing cards and just being loud, right? So I'm in there in the next room in the dark getting busy, right? Doing my thing. And this drunk C-word comes out of the bathroom. Hey, what you doing, man? I'm sorry, man. I'm sorry. And so our women also, like I said, wear short haircuts. They thought I was in there screwing a man, right? Like, what? Are you insane? So at that time, now remember, that's how long it goes. Now you can do that in the military. Now they want you to be homosexual. Like then it was against the law. The guys are getting locked up like it's supposed to be. So check that. So I didn't think nothing about it. I said, man, get on about it. So I didn't know nothing about it. But there's white people, some telling people, don't ever know about white people. So they said, he sent the report that he seen two guys having sex in the barracks, right? And if you guys been on base, Mel's been on base, it gets around base quick. I'm like, I heard the story. I didn't know they were even talking about me. He said, man, it was two dudes fucking in the barracks over in the barracks. I said, Hey, that's my barracks. I didn't know nothing about that. I didn't know they were talking about me yet. There's two dudes fucking in the barracks. Like, what? That's crazy, man. We can't allow nothing like that. Said no, the shit was about me, right? I had no idea. I'm like, what? So anyway, I came back. So my commanding officer called me and said, Keith Newsom, they got reports about you having sex with a man in the barracks. I said, what? Are you insane? Are you crazy? Me? You ain't got no reports of me being with no damn man. Are you insane? He said, yeah. He said, yeah. And this the only time being a womanizer saved my ass. Because I was known throughout the barracks, throughout the base of being a womanizer, right? So check that. He said, well, we got NIS. If you guys don't know NIS is the Naval Investigational Service. The Marine Corps is part of the U.S. Navy. Right? If you guys didn't know that, the U.S. Marine Corps is a division of the Navy, actually. So NIS is the investigation system. He said NIS is going to be investigating you. I said, what? Are you crazy? What? So he said, yeah, you got to go back to your room, and they're going to come in. So they came in there, right? You know, they came in, had their gloves on, checking all kinds. Now remember, I just got there. Maybe about 3 months from Japan. So I don't know who had that room. It's Donald who had that room before. I didn't like clean it out or nothing, right? Check that this is crazy. So they started investigating. So they take my sheets, you know, for semen stains and butthole juice. All crazy stuff. Yeah, Joe, we investigate. But butthole juice, which is another man in there.
What is bottle juice being in your bed shit, kid? Like
because when homosexuals have sex, they do it in the butt, Joby.
Oh,
I didn't have none of that, but that's butthole juice. When men have sex, they do it to each other in the butt, Joby.
Yeah.
So you know, so checking out the thing had to look around. I'm like, this is crazy. They had like a whole hazmat outfit on. This shit was. I said, wow, this is crazy, man. So, one of the dresses, you guys been invested, one of the dresses in there, down at the bottom of this dress, I know they had like this little thing, some homosexual, some kind of homosexual shit was up in the bottom of that drawer. If you think about having a good time with men or some shit. It's like the guy, this shit is funny as hell. The guy had his gloves on. He said, what's this? I said, what's what? What are you talking about? What's this right here? This thing talking about homosexual parties. I'm like, what? I said, dude, I just got here. I don't know what the hell that is. He said, uh-huh. He said, uh-huh. I said, I don't know what the hell this is, man. I don't know about no homosexual parties. It's okay. You know, we're here to investigate. We will find out everything about you. I said, I don't know nothing about no homosexual parties, man. I said, what? I said, how am I supposed to tell you that I'm not a homosexual, that I had no man here, and I wasn't playing with no booty juice? Huh? He said, so of course, so they said, will you be willing to take the lie detector test? I said, yeah. I'll take the lie detector test. Okay, that's where we're going. We're going back to office. We're gonna put you under the lie detector test. It's not admissible in court though, but you know, because we gotta take this to court about you know, playing another man's booty. It was all, you know, back then, you know, Marine Corps is brutal, guys. There's no tact. There's no nicety. You know, they talk to you crazy. And we find out you've been playing another man's asshole, we're gonna lock your ass up. I said, what? I said, I ain't been playing nobody's butthole, man. What are you talking about? Well, if we find out, we gonna lock your ass up, right? So, and you got all kind of cut out newspaper clippings about homosexual parties. I said that ain't mine. So anyway, so I go back, and luckily this saved me. I was all stressed at the. I was like, this saved me because I had a bunch of women in my, because back then, remember, we didn't have no cell phones yet. I had a bunch of women, numbers. You had to write them down. You couldn't be in your phone. I had a bunch of women numbers in my little black book. I was like, hell yeah. So can you name any women that you've been with? I said, I said, are you gonna call them? Yeah, we're going to make some phone calls. Now these broads gonna find I'm being investigation for homosexual, and then they gonna know I've been sleeping with other women. Right? Then they gonna know I've been sleeping with other women, right? They gonna know now. They gonna know, you know. So I'm all gonna be all messed up because now they gonna ask, has he been sleeping with you? Yeah, he been sleeping with your son. And I remember that because my daughter, the daughter I didn't know I had, mama, they called her too. Right? Yeah, Joe, they called it. And look, I had like 15 women they called. I was like, it was like 15 women that they called. So I was like, so I said, you got to call all of them? Yeah, we got to call all of them. It's an investigation. I said, God damn. So they did this. And if you guys know back then, this is crazy. There was a certain video that they would put on in front of you, right? Of men. They put this thing on your penis to see if they were trying to see if your penis got hard. Have you seen two men embracing each other? You know, and my penis stayed soft. They stayed limp. You got shit on turn looking at two men. You want to know, Joe, what you get for asking too many questions. Anyway, so Daddy, look at this damn video. These men touching each other. I was completely disgusted. But if you're homosexual, of course, that's going to arouse you. That's going to make your penis get hard. But it didn't do nothing for me. I was like, oh, man, this is disgusting, right? And so then they strapped me in that lie detector test. Have you, this shit was crazy. Have you ever, or any time in your life, thought about having sex with a man? Like, nah. Have you ever in your life thought about seeing butt naked men? I'm like, nah. I said, this is crazy. Have you ever in your life masturbated to homosexual porn? I said, what? 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 Have you ever in your life masturbated to homosexual porn? I'm like, no. And then I was scared. I ain't gonna lie, I was scared to lie and detect the test. Said I was lying. I was scared about that too. Like this thing, but I said, when the last? Because when I said, when the last time you guys calibrated this damn thing? I want to make sure it don't mess me up. Talking about I'm lying. Said, when's the last? Have you ever in your life masturbated to child porn or homosexual porn? I was like, what? I said, man, I don't even know what homosexual porn even is, man. I've never seen that in my life. He said, they got asked you these probing questions. Are you sure? You sure you don't know what it is? Yeah, I'm sure. He said, have you ever dreamed when you walk down the street of looking at another man's ass? I'm like, what? This is crazy. No, I never thought about looking at another man's ass. So I was all stressed out. But I was all stressed. But I was like, yeah. I said, yeah, but a lot of women they call, I did them wrong. They might lie on my ass. I did a lot of dirt to these women. But it don't matter. They know that I know. And even if they lie, they're gonna know I've been with a lot of women because they women. So it messed me up when the women said, the Marine Corps called me and asking me, were you sleeping with me? What business is it of theirs? I said, man, I'm being investigated for being a homosexual. Hey, what? And then I had to tell the story. Why would they think that? Why would they think that? Why do they think you're homosexual? What the hell you been doing? I said, nah, girl, ain't nothing like that. Telling all these women, it ain't nothing like that. I was making up all kind of lies and shit, I said, girl, you know some other dude, they caught me in a thing with some other guy and they got caught and shit, Then shit, black women they say that don't even sound right. That sound phony. You lying. So never told me what I was in because nobody ever came. After all that, they never came. They never came for me, right? They never said you was guilty or innocent. So they let me just be a whole year. Then finally came and said, "Oh, Newsom, the investigation's over." I said, "What? They investigate? It took them a year? Oh yeah. You know, you should have we tested your blankets, but no, it was a woman and male mixture and shit." And the funny part about this, guys, I was going to work one day, right? I was in this elevator with these other guys, and they were talking. They were talking about me. I was in the back. They said, it's a dude over in Barracks, son, got caught sucking all kind of big dicks. I'm like, God damn it! You know how people exaggerate, and the story gets all mixed up as it gets along. Yeah, they found them in there effing each other in the butt and sucking each other's dicks. And I'm like, these motherfuckers are talking about mine. God damn it. Ain't nobody sucking nobody's penis. Ain't nobody effing big dicks. But I'm like, man.
That's
oh my.
That's a crazy.
So, but I was found. Yeah, I got this, but I was found. So, Emil, if you're depressed, brother, you never had to go through that. And everybody in the whole base talking about, we caught two F guys, FAGGODs in the barracks, man. Who that? And they did, we finally gonna whip their ass. We doing that shit up in here, right? So I was like, wow, this is crazy. I remember calling my mother, right? You think your mother's gonna be the person that I said, Mom, I'm all stressed out. These motherfuckers in here investigate me for being a homosexual. She talking about, well, baby, you been hiding that, are you? I said, what the fuck are you talking about? You out of your mind? What's wrong with you? I'm calling you for goddamn comfort. You talking about have I been hiding something? You better get your ass out of here. You talking? All these women I used to bring into the house. That don't mean nothing, babe. Sometimes homosexuals like to hide. I said, wow. You my mother. I can't even get no damn comfort from your stupid ass. Go ahead.
That's a crazy story. Thank you for sharing that. Oh my goodness. Emil, just get yourself a woman, Don't be depressed. Get the advice.
No, don't think women might make it worse. Don't go get a woman. Shit. Might make it even worse.
I don't know. Do something that makes you feel at ease. Talk to people if you can. That's also another way of helping yourself throughout depression. Don't overthink too much. Don't blame yourself for anything. Enjoy life, man. But also say Jubajaba says the dentist called this morning and said once the swelling is down, she can treat me next
See,
Tuesday.
I told you. Yeah, but see, that's next week, Jovi. Next week.
What?
Yeah, that's his appointment next week.
Swollen tooth, like how? Like
yeah, he got to go with next. He got to get the swelling down, so he's got to take like some antibiotics or something. Take some natural antibiotics, jibber jabber, to get the swelling down. I don't know how you're doing. I don't know how you're doing your black job with that kind of pain, boy. Nothing like no toothache. Nothing like no damn bad tooth pain.
Mm-hmm. Man, I had my tooth. Remember that was, I think, last year, but one. Oh, last year, but one. Yeah, I had one of my teeth removed, and then my gap literally was swollen and aching for almost a weekend. That was almost 2 weeks. It was very, very bad. But you guys, that's nice. You have nice, at least good doctors, taking you procedure by procedure. For me, if I feel like my tooth is aching today, I just go to the doctor, I book, I'm not booking for any appointment. I just pay the money and I get my tooth extracted. That's it.
No, you got the appointment. You got the appointment here, Joby. I told you you're going to have to give him an appointment. You're not walking out the street, Joby. Not here. You got to get an appointment. And then you got to be, these lucky guys in a week. Good for him. You guys should be like, yeah, it costs him 2 weeks. We'll spit you in. Yeah. Sucks. Okay. Welcome to the American dream, Joby.
Nah, I like Africa. Yeah, I can get my shit removed every time I want. No waiting. The doctors wait for tomorrow. As a matter of fact, they'll convince you to get it removed that day. They don't tell you come tomorrow. I don't think it's ready. No, that's your problem to deal with. Ask Katie. But anyway, see, Joe Mosquito says most mixed people always got this fixation with wanting to unite black and white people. Really, I don't know about that, but I also see John Mosquito Karibusana once again. He says that's great, Jibba Jabba. Don't be like me. I was chewing on one side for 8 years. What?
8 years? God damn. Who said that? Who said Jim Mosquito said that?
Yes. Oh my
Damn.
goodness. Ow. Oh no. Oh no, John Mosquito.
Jim Mosquito scared of the dentist. He refused to go. Damn it. He said, I got it. I'll run around the middle of the night. Forget that trying to go to a dentist.
Joke with that, because the body, I'll be feeling it to the. Oh my god, I can't. 8 years. No. I also see John Mosquito says the term half caste as deemed offense to mixed race is now used, and I also see Jiba Jaba. Jiba Jaba is laughing about John Mosquito. Says, "Lol, bro, I was there. I was 3 weeks dealing with it. Then it got unbearable. Well, 3 weeks is even a lot, man. The moment personally, the moment I'm feeling that pain that day, I'm thinking about going to the I don't, but being honest, I don't have like 4 of my upper teeth, three of my upper teeth. I've removed 3 of them, but I think it's because of chewing sweets a lot. I loved chewing sweets a lot, so I think
Lucky for you, Joe. You shouldn't have to wait 3 or 4 weeks. Go crazy.
Yeah, I'm not waiting. I'd rather grow old toothless, but not have any of this. I don't like pain at all. But I also see Jason Karibusana. Emil says yes. They were raping African women in Cape Coast, Ghana, and even though it was the Brits who primarily colonized Ghana. I also see Jiba Jiba says bleached her skin and dyed her hair blonde.
Yeah, he's talking about Amber Rose. Yeah, bleaching and blonde, making fake blonde. Exactly. She didn't want to be African at all. Exactly.
Mm-hmm. I also see John says she might have gotten the Kanye, and that's why she's talking crazy. And I also see John Mosquito. Jason Hill Karibusana says Trina Murray was a mulatto, like one of my aunties from Louisiana back in the 1940s.
Hey Jason, let me ask Jason, let me ask you a question, brother. Jason, do you remember? I don't know. I was dreaming this last. I don't know why. That sounds crazy. I guess I got all this chicken. I'm trying to give up this chicken. Jason, do they still got Pioneer's chicken in LA? I know you guys don't know. It's a California thing. You remember the Pioneer's chicken, Jason? They had a commercial with the little Pioneer wagon and shit going through the commercial. Do they still got Pioneer's chicken, Jason? They ain't been out to LA in a minute. You know, I didn't see cousins. I wonder if they still got Pioneer's chicken out there. They still got Pioneer's chicken. I mean, that chicken was all right too. It wasn't great, but it was all right. Pioneer's chicken. I remember. I think we ate Pioneer's chicken. I think we ate Pioneer's chicken more than we did KFC back then. I'm just asking Jason, does he remember Pioneer's chicken? It might be gone. Okay, you think it's just one left. All right. Yeah, I thought they were all gone. I remember back in the day, Pioneer's chicken.
And I also see Jason says mulattoes folks in prison have to join black folks, especially the gang banging one. And then Jiba says,
yeah, they don't set them. Go ahead, Joey.
He was high yellow with straight hair. Okay. And then I also say Danny Harrison Karibusana. Hope you're doing great. Jiba Jaba says, Joby, what if he owned a KFC? I don't care even if you own the whole of the world. I'm not sleeping with no white man. I'd rather die poor, being honest. Okay. That's never been an option for me. Like, I'm gonna be sleeping with a white man for me to have my life all packaged. Nah. And the fact, I feel like the fact that it's never crossed my mind, the universe has never attracted or brought that to me. That's what I'm telling you. Like, when I say even a white man has never like looked at me, and even if they have, I don't notice. I don't. It's never on my head. It's just disgusting. Like, how do you? No, I just can't. Especially knowing just everything, I can't. You just can't. It's
Leave you with the
disrespecting
leave,
myself.
yeah, exactly. Leave you with the Big Mac.
Mm, mm-mm. Mm-mm. John was gonna say those little buildings in the background look like huts. I also see Jiba Jaba says Keith was investigated for going to donkey shows. I know,
Never
you
got
know.
investigated. Okay, but never got investigated for doing that debaucherous mess. I got investigated because I had a woman, an African woman with short hair, in the barracks at the hours. I knew because I still and then man, after the investigation was over, I still got in trouble because I had a woman after hours because you're not supposed to have a woman. They couldn't give me a homosexual shit, but I was still, it's the American military. I was still wrong for having a woman after hours in the barracks after 10 o'clock. So I got hit with that. Like what? You crazy? You gonna hit me with that all this time? All this stress? That's right.
But
That's right.
Keith was like the Kenyan senator. It's not the Kenyan senator. It's the Equatorial Guinea guy. You confuse him. Juba Jab. It's Equatorial Guinea, not Kenya. I think you're making two
Yeah, like
wrong.
Joby said, don't get Equatorial Guinea.
Like Guinea says, well, now the Marine Corps is full of homosexuals. We had a
Ain't
bunch of
it is.
deployment. They were always
Wow.
and then you also add even the Navy now has a lot of homosexuals. Everyone is
I
on the command.
that's what I'm saying. It used to be illegal. That's how you let you know how long I get. You go to prison if you was a homo, right? That's how much the Jays have infiltrated and changed the whole culture. You couldn't even admit your ass to get. First, you would get knocked the hell out, but you getting locked up. And I'm like, what? But me being a womanizer saved me, boy. That's the only thing I'm like, man. Here go my book. Here the women. And we gonna call every last one of them.
Son of you doing great today. We had a beautiful weekend. He says a first porn I have every say was you ever saw was in 1980. Debbie Does Dallas. I said, where is Tony Dossat, Hollywood? I'm not getting all that.
Hollywood Henderson. He put some of the first porn. That was Debbie Does Dallas. Yeah, that was a porn. I'm too young for that. That was a famous pornographic movie, Joey, back in the late '70s. So I guess it's about this woman who had sex with all the Dallas football players or something like that. So I don't know. I never seen it. Like I said, I never watched porn. So I don't. And then you asked me about gay porn. Like what?
There was a whole movie of pornography. Like
porn was big. Yes, Joby. It was in the movie theaters. Yeah, the first one was Deep Throat. The first one was called. You know what that means? Deep Throat, Joby. The first porn movie that they allowed in the movie was called Deep Throat.
Okay.
Look that up, Joe. Say what year did Deep? No, just say what year did Deep Throat come out. We're there looking at nothing. We say what year did Deep Throat come out. That's all we're asking.
Nah, that's a rotten country there.
I think it was like 73, 72. So what year did Deep Throat come out? Deep Throat.
1972.
See, 72. I was just born. So that's at the movie. You know who made it? The Jays made. This is the beginning of the destruction of the American society. And who did that? Who owns all the pornography sites? Oh, the cats own all of them.
That's crazy.
The cats. And so now I heard of Debbie Does Dallas, but I've never seen it in my life. So I knew they talked about it, but I've never seen that in my life. No, Debbie Does that. I never seen it. I never, like I said, only pornography I ever seen was when I was a kid. I was like a teenager. I was a teenager over a friend's house. And it was me and my brother still talking about this today, my close brother. Nobody knows my brother Eric, right? So it was you know how pornos are so bad, the acting is so bad, the music is so bad. It's just horrific, right? It's so bad. But back then they made whole movies, this story. So I don't know the name of this porno. We was in my friend's house, and we got his dad's pornos underneath his dad's bed. You guys remember your dad used to hide pornos underneath the bed for no. So we went over his house. Me and my brother and him went over the house after lunch or something, and the pornos were underneath the bed, and his parents were gone to work. You guys, we all Gen X. Remember, our parents would go to work. We'd all be at home doing stuff. So, he said, "Man, yeah, I found my dad's porno collection." We was like, "What? Hell yeah, that's okay."
What?
Yeah. We were like 12 or 13 years old, right? We said, "All right, let's check it out. We're doing stuff we're not supposed to be doing, right?" So we're doing stuff we're not supposed to be doing. So we're like, "Yeah, all right." So you put it on. Remember, you guys remember the name Betamax, VCR? It's a VCR too, but they had that bad music. All that horrible music. You guys remember the porno music? It's horrible, right? And so we remember, me and my brother, we laughed. The movie was so bad, it was funny. You guys know how bad these movies are. The movies are so bad that they're funny, right? So it was this black, so it was like an interracial kind of movie. Black guy. I guess his dad was there. His dad was in the interracial porn, right? White black men and white women. I said, your dad's got a fetish, dude. He likes white women because you could tell. 12, I knew that. So there's this white woman trying to go get a job, right? You know, the sets were all cheap. The sets are all cheap. He said, so his name was Mr. Johnson. He said, "Hey, Mr. Johnson." He said, "Yes, young lady. I when is the job open, right?" He said, "Well, the job may not be open, but I got to see your performance." So we all know what, we all that as a kid, I know that means, we got to see your performance. We know that means, you get butt naked and do stuff, right? So we kids. He said, "Yes, but you haven't quite got the job yet. I need to see your performance." He said, "Okay, what do I got to perform?" He said, the damn dialogue is so bad. So you know what you gotta do. The next she started getting butt naked. We laughing, right? And so of course they have sex and the bad music, right? The music is all bad down there. And then at the end, she's sucking him off, right? We said so. And so she says, "Do I got the job?" He says, "Yes, you've gotten the job." But it was so bad, we laughed. The movie was so badly acted. He said, "Yes, you've gotten the goddamn job. You surely have." After he done nutted all on her face and stuff, we were like, "What? And to this day, me and my brother remember that movie. That we always laugh. So yes, you haven't quite gotten the job yet. Right? Then at the end says, "Yes, you've got the job." So we were 12 and 13, man. It was made us laugh. And to this day, we laugh at because you guys know I don't look at porn. I find it stupid. I never could look, but as a child, it was taboo. So it was something that was keeping me away from it. So we're gonna watch it at 12 and 13. But as a grown man, I was never porn watching. That to me it seemed dumb. So but that's the one that's when I remember because I ain't watched a lot of pornos. That stuff was hilarious.
Crazy. That's crazy. But as we continue with our story, conversation of the day. Apart from you guys tell me your first story when you first seen porn. I know you guys see when you were children over some friends' houses. It's gotta be just put your comments, guys, as you keep. Tell me the first time you guys seen porn when you guys are growing up. Go ahead, Joe. Joe Mosquito. Was it Joe Mosquito? Someone said someone said their dad used to scatter them everywhere. Who is it? Someone said that. The dad, let me see the comments. thing. Okay, I see. Let me just read them quickly, roughly, and then we continue. An advice, Juba Jabba, I think you've seen from reparations on how you can help yourself on the tooth. Take that amazing supplement over there. Shout out to you, reparations. Karibu sana. Habari njema. Tumaya kwako salama. Karibu sana. I also see Jason says, me and my mother and father used to go to Pioneer's Chicken, and then Jason says California got about 100 plus Popeyes chicken. Shout out to Keith. He's should
But
be
we,
about.
but we know, but we know they got the Popeyes. I'm talking about that Pioneer's chicken.
And then we also see Jason said we watched Deep Throat in high school in the black room, and then
What? What?
John
That deep? Who said that? Who said
Jason
that?
Jason.
Jason said that movie Deep Throat in high school. And that wasn't illegal. Who allowed y'all to watch Deep Throat? America's crazy. America's crazy, Joby.
Very. Thank you for approving. Yes, that's crazy. I also say Joe Mosquito says Jewish Robbie on Pornhub. He also says my father hid
Don't all of
in
them.
the briefcase. Okay, John Mosquito said his father used to hide on the briefcase. Emil
See?
said that
You know, Joe, and Joe said that. And Joe Skittles the other day used to hide him in the briefcase. God dang.
Emil says the first time I watched porn, I was in the kindergarten because my dad scattered his porn tapes
See?
off.
See? He was in kindergarten. I ain't gonna lie, my dad, I never seen my father had no porn tapes. He was a weirdo type dude anyway. But see, his dad had the porno tapes. I scattered them all out. You may have seen him when he was 5 years old. That's crazy.
You know,
That's crazy.
I was in
Look at Joe.
class 5.
Joey's mind is all messed up. What you say, Joey?
For me, I saw not really the tape, but I saw the cover of the tapes.
All right, whose was it? Whose was it? Your dad's, Joey?
I don't know if it was my.
Wait, you don't know where was it at, Joey? Where was it in the house?
I don't know if it was my stepdad's or my mom's, but I just saw
It was that was just it wasn't your mom. That was your stepdad's nasty ass. It wasn't your mom. It wasn't your mom.
So then I'm like, what the hell is this? What the hell? No, she's not naked and all that. I'm like, what's going on here? Yeah, that's like,
It damn sure ain't Chuck Norris.
no, it was not exactly. It was on my CDs of Chuck Norris. I'm like, what the hell? Let me see it. What am I seeing? The cover is just full of naked people, and then I'm like, God damn, what the hell? Then I returned it exactly where I found it, not to be found that I touched it. So I don't want to be beaten. And then I also see John Mosquito says, with the old VHS tapes, you gotta rewind it back to the exact spot you started watching. Otherwise,
Exactly. You get caught. You'll get caught.
What?
They do it, man.
Then Ricky says, I didn't see any porn videos or magazines until I came into Navy, my country boy. I'm a country boy. And then I also see Emil says, I was looking for another Disney VHS movie to watch, and I put it in a VHS tape in the VCR, and boom, I see two people effing each other, and I stumbled upon VHS tape of that. And then I also see Juba Jabba says, my uncle in Philly had milli crate full that was enlightening summer. And then John Mosquito says, Joby, there's some freaks in Black Hot Fire. I know. Don't even say
It's a freak. Joey's a freak. Joey's stepdad is a freak. Joey good looking for Chuck Norris. Found all kind of butt naked women.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever told anyone that, not even my mom. I was shocked. I was like, God damn. Because I didn't know what it was. So I couldn't question my mom. I can't question my stepdad. So I just kept quiet. Like, I saw some shit I was not supposed to see. So that's what's up. I see Jason says, me and my bad boost. What's a bad boost? Me and my bad boost to read them You and your bad boys used to read them hustle porn magazines, if I'm not wrong. Okay. I also see reparations. Says Asante Sana. Karibu. Juba Juba says a customer died and the wife gave them 50 years of Playboys. I sold them for cash. Okay.
Wow. Who had 50 years? Who had 50 years of Playboys? Wow. That's crazy.
Yeah, that's what's up. But yeah, just draw mosquito learn Swahili better. Yeah, reparations has a better Swahili than yours. Yours,
See,
yours is
see,
great.
that's how crazy we all been introduced to some kind of porn as children. As children. Shout out to the cats with the hats. Because they run all the porn sites. They run all the porn movies. That's them. That's them. Ain't it funny? Destroying people's whole civilizations with this nonsense. But oh man, that movie was funny. You haven't quite got the job yet.
Right, as we continue, we have
Go ahead.
49, not really 49, but 8,000 white South Africans who are supposed to, of course, leave South Africa, and that is after being
Murray
occupied.
landed, I think. Murray landed in Dallas.
Yeah, so let me share, of course, this. As a
Like I
Trump
said,
administration is preparing to
like I
welcome
said,
the
Joe,
first
like I said, they better take them to the white areas in America because any kind of black, and I'm sure what they're gonna do. Take them to Idaho, Washington State, Wyoming, Montana, these white Iowa, stuff like that, Idaho, Utah, because any kind of black community they're gonna get hurt because these people are extremely racist, and the South Africans have allowed them to treat them like this. You're not gonna get this here. You're gonna get your feelings hurt here. You're gonna get hurt. So, you're gonna find out quick if they put you in any state that has a big black population, which I don't think they'll do. I think they say we're gonna keep you guys up in Montana, Wyoming. I want to go to Florida. No, you don't. You don't go there. I want to go to Georgia. No, you don't. No, I want to go to New York. No, you don't. Not New York. No. You're gonna go to Montana. Okay, where you gonna go? Go ahead, Joe.
Mm-hmm.
group of white South Africans to the United States under refugee status. Here's what we know. According to the New York Times, the U.S. will admit groups of white South Africans whom President Trump has described as racially persecuted. On February 7th, Trump signed an executive order
Racially
allowing South
persecuted
African
by who?
citizens, specifically Afrikaners, to claim refugee status. The order cites South Africa's Expropriation Act 13 of 2024, which it describes as enabling racially discriminatory property confiscation and claims the law disproportionately affects white South Africans.
It's a
The
lie.
executive order also announced an end to all U.S. financial assistance and foreign aid to South Africa. For context, Expropriation Act 13 of 2024 outlines the process for seizing private property for public use or in the public interest. It allows the compensation and, in certain cases, no compensation when deemed just and equitable. The act replaces South Africa's Expropriation Act of 1975. According to the New York Times, administration officials plan to meet the arriving South Africans at Washington Dulles International Airport in Virginia.
It's gonna be in Washington Dulles.
The
I
United
thought
States
Dallas.
has granted refugee status primarily to people fleeing war, famine, or natural disasters.
But these are
Early
white
in his
people.
presidency, Trump suspended the U.S. refugee resettlement program. However, his administration later established a new process for white South Africans who claimed racial persecution. The New York Times suggested these applicants have been processed at faster than average rates. The American Immigration Council notes that the standard wait time for refugee applications ranges from 18 to 24 months. What do you
They're
think of
white.
this move?
You're white. You're in a racist country. They're white. So they're kicking out all the non-white people because they need them white. They're white. That's why they get special treatment. But you don't understand this. That I told you. White people are the same all over the planet. Not like you Africans. You this thing that ask are these South Africans part of my tribe? You're not asking that. They're white, and they're gonna treat them as such. They're always united together. As when they know they're the same people. They don't ask, well, they're from South Africa. They're a different tribe. No, only goopy Negroes do that shit. Only black people do that nonsense. Have less power. White people don't. They're white, and we're gonna bend the rules and get them here. We don't care. Rules don't apply to us.
Mm-hmm. I hope Orania is gonna be left with zero white people. I hope they leave completely and go back to their,
Those ain't the ones leaving. Ones that want to plan to stay. They will end up getting wiped out.
Well, I hope they leave too, because they don't belong there. Of course, you don't belong there. You've been told by Trump you need to leave. If you feel you're facing genocide, South Africa is not accepting you. You're not getting what you expected when you entered there, and then
So
slave
but
people.
they're not gonna leave when they've been treated all good and
I
just
don't.
talk to black people crazy,
As
live
an
good
as,
lives.
as an African who would like to tour South Africa, I'd advise white people to leave our continent alone. We'd love to see this continent full of black people and only guests who are giving us, profit back of making our economy.
The white South Africans say that you being black, that land don't belong to you.
Okay.
That's their land. They said.
Freedom is coming
Yeah.
tomorrow. Period.
But that song's 30. That song's older than you, Joby. It still ain't came yet.
I know. But anyway, we have Iran, which it has said it will not back away from the nuclear right, and they're saying that Iran Foreign Minister Abbas Araghchi said this is on Saturday that if the United States' goal is to deprive Iran of its nuclear rights, it will never back down over those rights. Araghchi was speaking
Exactly.
in Doha a day ahead of another round of planned nuclear talks between Iran and the US in Oman. And he says, and I quote, if the goal of the negotiation is to deprive Iran of its nuclear rights, I state clearly that Iran will not back down from any of its rights. And Iran has repeatedly said its rights to enrich uranium is non-negotiable and has ruled out a zero enrichment demand by some.
Exactly. How it's only white people try to other people don't have nuclear bombs, but they the only ones drop them on people, kill people, and do everything. So how you gonna tell me not to have it? You know, we don't want you to have it so we can because that's not their policy. They can keep invading. It doesn't make any sense. Why would I agree not to have a nuclear bomb? You got it. You get rid of yours. We're not gonna give it to ours. Then why the hell you talking about? Why you telling me not to get one and not to develop one? No.
Mhm. Exactly. So that's a good move, of course. And I love the fact this is how Africans should learn how power literally operates, standing on your ground, you say what
Exactly.
you say, and understand literally people who are telling you not to do this. They will attack you anytime, any minute, just like what you said.
Of course.
That's what they've been trying to do in Iran, of course. They're telling them this, trying to cause and start a war at the same time. It's crazy. So,
Exactly. Yeah. Say, don't defend yourself, Joby, so I can invade your house.
yeah.
Don't put up security, Joby, at your house so it make it easier for me to come in and burglarize you and rape you and tie you up and kidnap you.
Hell
I'm
yeah.
crazy.
You've been doing that. Your time is up.
Mm.
You've been doing that to other countries. You've done been doing that using American taxes. So the time is up. I'm not dumb. You might have gotten the other people dumb, but we're not dumb as Iran. So shout out to Iran for standing on its ground. But as we move on, I want to share this video here talking about Iran and of course Trump, who is behind all this, and of course Netanyahu at the same time. And
They're telling you it's a split. I don't believe it's a split. Oh, they met his Caucasian followers have started to notice that there's a group of people that actually run and control America and really the world. They're starting to wake up and say, hey, why does all our money go to Israel? Why does all our money go to fight Israel? Why is everything Israel? Because the Rothschilds. That's why. And all presidents have been puppets. That's why. So they're trying to now there's a breach between America and Israel. I don't believe that. Not until I see AIPAC and the Congress stop being under the control of AIPAC and the Israeli lobby. So I don't believe none of that. Go ahead, Joe.
Hey everybody, Josh Sigurdson of World Alternative Media here, and many people out there right now are saying that Trump has split with Benjamin Netanyahu and Israel.
I don't believe that.
It's an absolute joke. Of course,
exactly.
This is not the case. We're going to go into that today. But
exactly, it's fake.
We're seeing a lot of people sharing this stuff around, saying, "Look, we have all this evidence. Trump is up against Israel now."
They're trying to do that because they're trying to give Trump credibility because his own base starting to know who really runs this country, who really runs him. So they're trying to get some separation, but it's fake. The Jays run this. They put his ass in power. He better do what the hell they tell him to do, or he's really going to get a real assassination attempt, not the fake orchestrated one we seen last year. Those are fake. Because when they come to see you, They come to see. Good.
Guys, the Palestinian state. He's cutting off contact with Netanyahu over manipulation concerns, Israeli reporter claims. By the way, again, this is from an Israeli reporter. Second, this manipulation concern thing, of course, are being manipulated by Israel. And third, of course, this is a limited hangout in order to make it appear as though they're not angry at each other. As Gareth Ike says on X, quick, people are starting to see the dynamic. Pretend you're angry at me. It's very obvious to me that this is where they're going. Because of course he is being recognized as an anti-American Israeli first.
Exactly. He's been know that his own dumb white people realizing that Trump is a phony. That everything he does is about Israel, and they're seeing it now. So now they got to do some false kabuki theater. Kabuki theater means falsehood, fake theater, showing that he's now got a split with Israel. He wouldn't be president, guys, if Israel didn't control and own his ass. Understand that? There's no split. The only split you have with Israel is a split to the back of your head when you don't do what the hell you're told to do. That's the split you get. Not this fake media. Remember, they own all the media. The media's owned and controlled by them. So they put out these false narratives and you'll believe it. This is to control his constituents who are now getting mad and seeing what's going on. Hey, Trump ain't really for us. He's for what is this policies he's doing? They're all benefiting Israel because that's who runs his ass. So they're trying to make a fake feud in the media. It's phony. Go ahead, Joe.
Great Again movement. And of course, every president is or tied to blackmail. This is also something we could see with, for example, the Epstein situation, which of course he was a Mossad agent. And of course, they're not actually releasing the real files on this. We're going to get into this and more today. But before we do, I urge people to check those links below and get prepared today before they end up in a ration line with
Trump. Because Trump was known to be on that island. They got tapes of Trump being with little kids, a little 12-year-old girl, a little 11-year-old girl. They got tapes of his ass too. But they covered it up for him because they put him in power. He was on that island with Epstein. He's been dealing little white girls' booty holes too. That's him. So, yeah. That's what's going on.
News, they say out of Global News, U.S. President Trump is planning to recognize the Palestinian state. I am absolutely positive that this is nonsense, though a lot of mainstream alternative media will jump on it and say, see, we told you his one fault. It's not a big fault anymore. First of all, it's not one fault. He has many. He's pushing socialist policies and pushing this idea of you will own nothing and you'll be happy like the World Economic Forum. But it's okay when Trump does it. This is a complete.
That's why they put him in there, because they need the white people to calm down, because they're morons. They'll believe what he's doing because it's Trump doing it. Trump is leading them to hell. They don't even know it because it's Trump. If Biden was doing, they would go crazy. They would see it. But since they got the love for Trump, Trump is doing the same thing Biden would be doing. They control both of them. It's kabuki theater. And so they really believe this nonsense. Trump is now fighting against Israel. Moron. They run the country. He ain't fighting against anybody. Go ahead, Joker.
Media is saying, look, Trump is pushing back against Netanyahu. Why? Because some reporter in Israel said so. And, he said some nice things about Gaza. It's a psyop. It's one of the most blatant psyops I've seen recently. And again, we keep getting proven right, but people still will call us negative and say that we're like just blackpilling. This is reality that we need to assess and understand. Presidents don't have power. This is a complete control move. Now,
exactly. He doesn't have any power.
Liberation says Trump cut off contact with Netanyahu over manipulation concerns, Israeli reporter claims. And it says this is the moment that Donald Trump became president, at least if this report is true. From Anadolu Agency, Trump cut ties with Netanyahu over manipulation concerns. U.S. President Donald Trump has decided to cut off direct contact with Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu, a report said on Thursday. Yanir Kozin, a correspondent for Israeli Army Radio, said in a post on his X account that Trump made the decision after close associates told Israeli Strategic Affairs Minister Ron Dermer that the president believes that Netanyahu is manipulating him. Oh, no shit.
Fake.
An Israeli official.
His whole cabinet are full of the cats. His whole cabinet are the cats. So how the hell is he going to change against the cats and his whole cabinet are the cats? This is all fake. Good. I first heard this yesterday or the day before. This is all fake. Go ahead, Joe.
During recent discussions with senior Republican figures about what Trump should do was seen as arrogant and unhelpful. The official said that people around Trump told him Netanyahu was manipulating him. And I quote, "There's nothing Trump hates more than being portrayed as a fool or someone being played. That's why he decided to cut contact with Netanyahu." The official added, "What is this, People magazine? This is Reader's Digest. It's a joke. It's a gossip column." And of course, people are taking it seriously. Israel owns the United States, and that's not going to change, or else blackmail is released and people die. Gozen pointed to the Israeli government's failure to present a concrete plan and timeline regarding Iran and Yemen's Houthis as a source of the worsening U.S.-Israel relationship. This might just be a bait and switch to get Iran to take its guard down, but with the deal Trump announced with the Houthis and his praising their bravery in withstanding the U.S.'s attacks, it's possible we may actually be on the precipice of a sea of change. Yeah, right. So these are the claims, and that Trump is pushing back, and everything I see is quite the opposite. Okay, so here's Trump. We're going to help the people of Gaza. We're going to help the people of Gaza get some food. Hamas is making it impossible, he says, because they're taking everything that's brought in. We're going to help the people of Gaza because they've been treated very badly by Hamas. There we go. First of all, Hamas is run by Israel. It's a proxy of Israel.
Hamas is run by Israel and created by Israel. It's fake, exactly. And he knows that. So this is the whole fake story. Hamas, the terrorist Hamas. Hamas was created by Israel, by the Mossad. So anybody knows that. So when you first hear him talking that stupid shit, you know it's a lie. Go ahead, Joe.
And they're really pushing back against Israel. Call it the false flags. Call it the fact that they got us into the Iraq war by pushing the Congress after being involved in 9/11, being involved in JFK assassination, being involved in the Epstein blackmail operation through Mossad, which of course they will then say, "Oh, we're going to redact the Epstein files over national security concerns. We're not going to show you what's actually happening with JFK." And of course, we're going to investigate 9/11, but of course, it's always going to be a big target on Iran and Wahhabis, who were, by the way, planted in the region by Israel and the U.S. So I call BS on this, and I made a post on X, which I think is important because Adam.
Watch how coconut oil affects belly fat.
Is coconut oil a superfood or
on X posted this? What the fuck is going on? In the New York Times, the Israeli government is not our ally. The Jerusalem Post, Donald Trump to announce U.S. recognizes Palestinian state, Gulf diplomatic source claims. To which I responded at World Alt Media on X, which I urge people to go follow, by the way. We need the help. We need the help in the algorithm because we're being blocked for not being mainstream alternative media or mainstream media. So there we go. As I wrote on X, I said, all of this stuff is happening overnight, and I don't buy it one damn bit. Clearly a manufactured story, a psyop. Trump just spent $1 trillion on Israel a week and a half ago, which is, by the way, the biggest military budget in history. Pushes Netanyahu's chair in, wears a tiny hat, protects them from the Epstein files coming out under the guise of...
Where the tiny hat's at? They're right, the hat.
Overthrow Syria. They're helping them annex Palestine, Lebanon, and eventually Iran. They're totally blackmailed by Israel. They're deporting people for criticizing Israel, people with legal papers. They're imprisoning people for 5 years mandatory minimum for
if they say anything bad about Israel.
That includes just spray painting something on a wall. If you believe Trump is suddenly against Israel, I have a bridge to sell you. All part of the grand chessboard for global conflict. And don't say, what if he is learning? If you think this, you don't understand how the power structure works. Presidents are not in charge.
Nope.
I posted that on X, and of course, it's so frustrating to me to see people falling for this. But a lot of people are pushing back. Syrian Girl on X says, on Trump recognizing Palestine, Israel will kill Trump before they let him recognize Palestine. This is some type of a negotiation game. They want to revive the two-state solution and the Abraham Accords, both bad things. As I mentioned, Gareth Ike responded to Michael Trippi, who wrote, President Trump reportedly cutting contact with Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu due to arrogance, attempts to push him around, causing Trump to feel disrespected and manipulated. Gareth Ike responded, quick, people are starting to see the dynamic. Pretend you're angry at me.
Exactly.
So
People see exactly. People see who's actually exactly. It's like you man. People see who really runs everything. It took them a long time. Been saying this for 25 years. Oh, what? You don't know these presidents are nothing but puppets. You know who actually runs this? You know the Rothschilds created what you call "Is Not Real" back in '47, and they run our banking system. They make the U.S. dollar. You don't understand that? And the only president, when he tried, they blew his damn head off in Dallas in public to send a message. Don't nobody go against us. This is your fate. Do what you're told to do. Because that thing, that nonsense you're seeing with Trump, that was to give him credibility, make him more, Trump is almost, they're trying to get him the deep state. But he's part of the deep state because you're easily stupid. You're a moron. You don't understand how theater works. You don't understand sophisticated psyops. So you're a moron. You think that they're going to ever allow this moron Trump to go against their will, the ultimate goal they want? Trump will be in a damn in an unmarked grave tomorrow. He'll be out of here, and it won't be no. They almost missed my ear. Look at my ear. It won't be none of that. You see his whole goddamn head explode in the middle of the day. That's what you'll see. So this fake thing going against Netanyahu. Is Netanyahu a puppet? Yeah, Netanyahu's a puppet to the Rothschild. They run the country's run by the Rothschild. That's just a fact. You know, shit. They tell you right there that all the Mossad and all the stuff they run through is right there. It says on Rothschild Boulevard in Israel. They don't even lie about the road is on Rothschild Boulevard. That's right. And everybody knows Israel runs America. If you don't know if Israel runs America, I don't know where you've been my whole life. Israel been running America since 1913 when Israel wasn't even existed yet. But the Rothschilds have. Since 1913, since they gave you that phony monopoly money. So that's what we're talking about here. So idea you got any president that runs anything, you are a moron. Trump has no power. He is a puppet. He'll do what he's told to do when he's told to do it. But these mega morons will be, yeah, he's fighting the Rothschild. He's gonna get rid of the IRS and that. Okay. All right. Calm down, child. Okay. You're like a goofy child. No. Trump is a puppet. Trump has never made any money. Trump is not a real billionaire. They know you mega nuts and other people don't know Trump's business accolades. Trump has never made a goddamn dollar off anything. He's a fake billionaire. Propped up by the same people that you talk about he's fighting. Trump has had 5-6 bankruptcies. That means he's failed over and over and over. Who gave him the money to get us out of trouble? Oh, Rothschild banks. They want to tell you it's the Russians. The Rothschild. Go back and check. I mean, it's public record. Go look at his holdings. Go look at Trump holdings and see every time he bankrupt. Who came in and saved them? Who came and put up the money to save his dumb butt? Trump is a moron. Trump is not running businesses. He's a moron. He's an idiot. There's no business he's ever run that didn't went bankrupt. He's a moron. But since they own the media, they prop him up in your mind. Oh, Trump is nothing like. Trump is like Joby said, the American dream. It's a fake. It's a dream. It's marketing. You know, you think everything. It's like when you buy the brand, the Apple brand. You think, oh, I'm buying the $1,700 phone, and in China it only costs $10 to make. That's Trump. It's a brand. It's make believe. It's marketing. It's not real. So, you got to make it. Yeah, Trump is a billionaire. He knows what about business. These morons don't. They got to look at Trump holdings. And see how many times he went back. Do this for me real quick, Joby. Open up another tab real quick, and ask Google. Say how many times has Donald Trump went bankrupt? Is it 5, 6 times? That means he's failed over and over again. That means he never made any money in business. How many bankruptcies does Donald Trump have?
7.
Damn, I done 7. This 7. God. God. Damn. 7. It means he's failed over and over and over. Where does he get the money, guys? See, you only get maybe 1-2 times to fail, and no one's giving you any money. Who's giving him money to fail over and over again? They already see the bet that Trump is a failure. No one would, in their right mind, would give him any more money to continue any business. This moron has failed 7 times. After 2, you're done. There's nobody loaning you any more money. You're a moron. You're a failure. But somehow, Trump has been bailed out 7 times. Who did that? Who came in with the billions of dollars to bail him out of his own idiocy? You're not getting 7 times to be a 7 times failure. Yeah, I'm gonna keep giving Joby money to go gamble and where she's losing every time she put my money. Joby like, Keith, I just got a good feeling. One more time. There ain't no one more time. You already did 2 times. Get your ass out of here. Crazy. 7 times. So they don't ever succeed. So the media never tells you that because they own the media. They wanted to make Trump into a Jesus figure for these white people, so they can do what he's telling them. Right, what Joe was showing us in his video, so they can implement all these bad policies and destroy America, right? But they wouldn't be so loud because they got the Jesus figure Trump doing it. But then people started realizing, man, hey, this don't look right. Trump is kind of effing us up. You know, too many people starting to wake up and say, hey, something ain't right here. Something don't look right. They say, so that's what they got to do to put this false thing together. Yeah, Trump is fighting with Netanyahu, fighting with Israel. So if people say, yeah, you see, we're getting rid of these Jews. Yeah. And it's all a scam. Trump is a 7-time loser. Trump's going to do what he's told to do or end up in poverty, and they'll either murder his ass or lock his ass up. All the stuff him being with these children will start popping up everywhere, and they'll lock his ass up. See how it goes? They got him on tape with 12 and 13-year-old children. They'll lock his ass up. They'll already impoverish him because he don't really got any money. They impoverish his ass, they'll lock him up. Or if they feel he's too much of that, they'll just put a bullet in his head and keep it moving. Go ahead, Joe.
Okay, let me go to the comments very quickly. This video, the rest of it I'll just share on the WhatsApp chat. But before we get closer to winding up, we also have the application for visas. I think this is similar to the same video I was sharing the other time where we saw that right now they want to keep serious checkup on the social media users, and everything you post which shall be used against you. We remember me sharing that video, and it was very well explained when we had the Spain and Spain and what's blackout. I can't remember the other country, but yeah, they're saying that the U.S. Department of State has mandated the visa application, provided the visa applicants need to provide their social media usernames used in the past 5 years on application form DS-160, that is the non-immigrant visas, and the DS-260 immigrant visas. And this policy aims to enhance national security to allow, which is allowing them consular officers to review applicants' online presence for potential security threats. Let me share
that. Among other things, whatever you put on your social media is something that can be examined as part of the visa process. And what we're looking for is anything on there that might indicate that you are eligible or not eligible for a visa to enter the United States.
Now they got to check your social media.
Every case is very much different. There might be cases where that might take place. There are also many cases where it was not. So that information, as I said, we look at when we evaluate someone's eligibility for a visa, we look at everything. And certainly we look at things that are publicly available, what is said during the interview, any documents that are submitted, and we look at the whole circumstances to see whether or not someone is eligible for a visa or not.
I mean, that is all bollocks again. This is
Mhm.
just crazy. It was never, where is this all coming from? I thought Meta is working on allowing people to talk how they want, because that's how it feels like. People will no longer have freedom to just even leave comments anywhere. Personally, I've been very careful lately,
Yeah.
because I love leaving comments, especially on political pages, just talking my shit and very brutal with it. And is you looking at where we really headed. Social medias are now being
Yeah.
thoroughly checked. They want to
Exactly, because they want to. They want to. That's the route. They want to completely lock everything down, Joe. They try to set up a. See, with them, they always want to set up a feudal state. They want to lock everything down, make everybody poor now. They control everything. And at a time which is digital currency. If you don't do what you're told, they'll cut off your money, Joe. Now you're starved to death. That's what they're trying to do. That's the world they're trying to create. It's about, oh, we're trying to stop terrorism. Ain't got nothing to do with no damn terrorism.
So
They want complete control.
I don't know if this makes sense, but what we're clearly seeing and observing is that the agendas that we've been talking about are clearly unfolding in front of our eyes. And it seems like humanity has no ability of making any changes.
To stop it.
Exactly.
So humanity's gonna have to. They're gonna have to stop it, because the psychopaths are trying to rule the world from complete despotic rule, Joe. They're trying to make sure that no one ever rises up to go against them now. The money won't be, because they won't care about money anymore. And trying to make it's completely despotic. It's completely evil.
It's crazy. It is crazy, but it's the world we live in. But I
Yep.
hope everything. I don't know. It's crazy because we have the awakening of people. You have all these things happening. It's just super, super.
It goes against the soul, Joe. You're not gonna be able to win this. This goes against the soul. People's souls are not gonna allow to just be enslaved. As they can, every time white people get power, they always want to enslave. Everything for them is about a slavery system. Them dominating.
Exactly. But I see John Musker says apparently Donald Trump is black because he has ginger hair. Lol. And I also see
That's what that lady said. That ain't got nothing to do with no damn being black. That's what that moronic African said. You got ginger hair, you're African. How's that? If you got ginger straight hair, you got Neanderthal hair. See that? You know what the hell she's talking about. Just say crazy shit.
But Zaba says when Trump pulled out Netanyahu's chair to sit down, he showed who was the boss. Not to sit down. Yeah, he showed who was the boss and what a cock. What a cock. I don't know. But yeah, I mean, Netanyahu, Trump, all the same people, all the same people working for the same power. This puppet. It's crazy. Even Trump acting all tough
Exactly.
like just a puppet taking orders. Like who? It's crazy. It's crazy. While we have the rest of the world, including African leaders, like you say, these people you should see how they wanna lick my ass. They're begging me. It's crazy. It's just crazy that because you're all on the same bracket, just different levels. The African puppets are here. The rest of them are here, but we have it's Levels. There's a movie I've been watching called Levels. Not actually a movie. It's a movie. There's a movie I was watching during the weekend called Levels. It's crazy. Literally how the system is controlled, how we have people who are in control of the power, which you can't get to, where the secret codes for you to access all this, but it's so impossible. It's crazy. But also see Jabba says, Keith, what are your thoughts on the 12-foot statue of the black woman on the Times Square? Yeah, I saw that. I don't know if he's seen that for Keith himself, but I bet it should be going viral on TikTok or all platforms. Keith, have you seen that statue of the black woman that was put in the middle of New York, Times Square? I don't know. I think we lost him. I think we lost Keith over there. But I also see Jibba says there with the fight fist. We're in my shoes. But yeah, that's what's up. Those literally are conversation for the day, and I hope you guys have enjoyed. Thank you for showing your other side of secrets that your guys have. I appreciate you guys for tuning in. I see Jason says they also use remote reviewing to see what's going to happen before it happens. Wow. It's crazy. Hegelian dialectic again, literally what they've been using for years and centuries. Hegelian dialectic. Cause a problem, see the reaction, and bring the solution, despite you there being the problem, being the person bringing the problems. You know, you don't see anything wrong with that. It's just super insane. But family, we're coming to the end right here on today's conversation. Hope you guys have yourselves a beautiful day. Take care out there. I hope you guys, as you go back to your black job, you be safe. To those who are feeling some type of way, take it easy on yourself. It's life. It has its own problems, just like what you're talking about. A lot of problems, but don't be so hard on yourself. Take it easy, one step at a time. You know, as long as you keep on running away from problems, they'll always find us somehow. I was telling a friend that way, you know. You keep on running away from problems.
Yeah, I seen that statue. That statue is disgusting. It's showing black women all fat and nasty. It's disrespectful. It's funny. Because you guys have got away from the African diet, eating the GMOs. So that's what happened. The reason why black women are fat in America because of the diet. GMOs were introduced in the mid-90s. And so you got this fat, obese-looking ass African woman up there, black American woman. Like, what is this shit here? Half naked, half crazy looking. Like, what is this shit? What is this thing here? And the black women don't understand you being mocked. They're making fun of your ass. They're not celebrating you. They're making fun of you. That's sure. They're not gonna put no obese white woman up there. They're making fun of your stupid ass.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, much love, family. Have yourselves a
Much
beautiful
love.
closing remarks, Kate. You have.
No, that's it. Much love, guys. See you
Yes.
tomorrow.
We'll see you guys tomorrow. Have yourselves a beautiful day. Take care.
Here it is. Here it is.
And remember, Kamlesh is also back. So tomorrow at 12, exactly at 12 to 1 p.m., you'll be seeing Kamlesh with a show. Of course, you guys catch up with him and see what he's going to be talking about when you can. But much love. I'll leave you guys with this jump right here.
For the one, have you seen her? See her when I sleep, I'm a dreamer.